On what account then the ancients, neglecting such discourses as these, employed fables, is a question not unworthy of our investigation. And this indeed is the first utility arising from fables, that they excite us to inquiry, and do not suffer our cognitive power to remain in indolent rest. It will not be difficult, therefore, to show that fables are divine from those by whom they are employed, for they are used by poets agitated by divinity, by the best of philosophers, and by such as disclose initiatory rites. In oracles also fables are employed by the gods, but why fables are divine is the part of philosophy to investigate. Since, therefore, all beings rejoice in similitude, and are averse from dissimilitude, it is necessary that discourses concerning the gods should be as similar to them as possible, that they may become worthy of their essence, and that they may render the gods propitious to those who discourse concerning them, all of which can only be effected by fables. Fables therefore imitate the gods, according to effable and ineffable, unapparent and apparent, wise and ignorant, and this likewise extends to the goodness of the gods. For as the gods impart the goods of sensible natures in common to all things, but the goods resulting from intelligibles to the wise alone, so fables assert to all men that there are gods, but who they are, and of what kind, they alone manifest to such as are capable of so exalted a knowledge. In fables too, the energies of the gods are imitated, for the world may very properly be called a fable, since bodies, and the corporeal possessions which it contains, are apparent, but souls and intellects are occult and invisible. Besides, to inform all men of the truth concerning the gods produces contempt in the unwise, from their incapacity of learning, and negligence in the studious, but concealing truth in fables prevents the contempt of the former, and compels the latter to philosophize. But you will ask why adulteries, thefts, paternal bonds, and other unworthy actions are celebrated in fables? For it is not unworthy of admiration, that where there is an apparent absurdity, the soul immediately conceiving these discourses to be concealments, may understand that the truth which they contain is to be involved in profound and occult silence. Of fables, some are theological, others physical, others animastic, or belonging to the soul, others material, and lastly, others mixed from these. Fables are theological, which employ nothing corporeal, but speculate the very essences of the gods, such as the fable which asserts that Saturn devoured his children, for it obscurely intimates the nature of an intellectual god, since every intellect returns to itself. But we speculate fables physically when we speak concerning the energies of the gods about the world, as when considering Saturn the same as time, and calling the parts of time the children of the universe, we assert that the children are devoured by their parents. But we employ fables in an animastic mode when we contemplate the energies of the soul, because the intellections of our souls, though by a discursive energy they proceed into other things, yet abide in their parents. Lastly, fables are material, such as the Egyptians ignorantly employ, considering and calling corporeal natures divinities, such as Isis earth, Osiris humidity, Typhon heat, or again denominating Saturn water, Adonis fruits, and Bacchus wine. And indeed, to assert that these are dedicated to the gods, in the same manner as herbs, stones, and animals, is the part of wise men, but to call them gods is alone the province of madmen, unless we speak in the same manner as when, from established custom, we call the orb of the sun and its rays the sun itself. But we may perceive the mixed kind of fables, as well as in many other particulars, as in the fable which relates that discordia at a banquet of the gods threw a golden apple, and that a dispute about it arising among the goddesses, they were sent by Jupiter to take the judgment of Paris, who, charmed by the beauty of Venus, gave her the apple in preference to the rest. For in this fable the banquet denotes the supermundane powers of the gods, and on this account they subsist in conjunction with each other, but the golden apple denotes the world, which, on account of its composition from contrary natures, is not improperly said to be thrown by discordia or strife. But again, since different gifts are imparted to the world by different gods, they appear to contest with each other for the apple, and a soul living according to sense, for this is Paris, not perceiving other powers in the universe, asserts that the contended apple subsists alone through the beauty of Venus. But of these species of fables, such as are theological belonging to philosophers, and physical and animastic to poets, but the mixed to initiatory rites, since the intention of all mystic ceremonies is to conjoin us with the world and the gods. But if it be requisite to relate another fable, we may employ the following with advantage. It is said that the mother of the gods, perceiving Attis by the river Gallus, became in love with him, and having placed on him a starry hat, lived afterwards with him in intimate familiarity. But Attis, falling in love with a nymph, deserted the mother of the gods, and entered into association with the nymph. Through this, the mother of the gods caused Attis to become insane, who, cutting off his genital parts, left them with the nymph, and then returning again to his pristine connection with the goddess. The mother of the gods then is the vivific goddess, and on this account is called mother, but Attis is the demiurge of natures conversant with generation and corruption, and hence he is said to be found by the river Gallus, for Gallus denotes the galaxy, or milky circle, from which a passive body descends to the earth. But since primary gods perfect such as are secondary, the mother of the gods falling in love with Attis imparts to him celestial powers, for this is the meaning of the starry hat. But Attis loves a nymph, and nymphs preside over generation, for everything in generation flows. But because it is necessary that the flowing nature of generation should be stopped, lest something worse than things last should be produced. In order to accomplish this, the demiurge of generable and corruptible natures, sending prolific powers into the realms of generation, is again conjoined with the gods. But these things indeed never took place at any particular time, because they have a perpetuity of subsistence, and intellect contemplates all things as subsisting together, but discourse considers this thing as first, and that as second, in the order of existence. Hence, since a fable most aptly corresponds to the world, how is it possible that we, who are imitators of the world, can be more gracefully ornamented than by the assistance of fable? For through this we observe a festive day,